plants were owned by China and built in Mexico near our border. They were going to just build the cars and just pour them in, and you wouldn't have had any, which Brian understood, and the mayor understood. You wouldn't have had any capacity. You wouldn't have had any reason to be here and be making cars. So I heard about this and I hated it, and I talked about it for a year. It was in every speech I made on autos, and I came up 3 weeks ago. We spoke before the Economic Club, Detroit, and I talked about it, and then I saw the gentleman in the audience, and I said, could I speak to you for a second? How are those plants coming? Sir, they've been stopped. I said, what do you mean they've been stopped? They think you're going to be president, and you're going to charge tariffs, and it will make it economically impossible to build them. So they stopped construction. So I didn't even tell you that, Brian. So what I've done is I've saved Michigan, I think, because now we're going to reverse it. I'm going to go back to them. I say, build the plant in Detroit, build the plant up here, build it in the state of Michigan, or build it in the United States. We can handle that, right? As long as it's in the United States. But let's start over here. Maybe you make a deal, and you will make a deal. I think you could make a deal right here. And we'll end up having those plants built over here instead of built in other countries. So this plant that I was talking about for the last year and a half is stopped because they think I'm going to get elected. They know if I get elected, I'm not going to let them sell cars into our country in order to destroy the rest of Michigan. You know, you had many times the number of cars being built many years ago. This was a different world. And you see the empty hulks all over the place. So we're going to start that little project. We're going to get to the people that have plenty of money, but they don't want to lose money, and they would have lost a lot of money because I wasn't going to let any car come into the United States and destroy the Michigan automobile business.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. President, and you are exactly correct. I've been preaching it to my coworkers in the UAW, and more of them are understanding this. The president is right, and the mayor was right. I worked with a lot of Arab Americans, Muslims, throughout at Ford. A lot of the people came from this community, Dearborn Heights, hardworking people, family people that just wanted a good job and they wanted to live the American dream. Well, for 30 or 40 years, that's been slipping away here in Detroit, and we've watched it. It's been painful, and EVs might have been the final nail in the coffin for us. But President Trump has a strategy, unlike his opponent. He knows what he needs to do to stop it, and you already saw an example of it. The company I believe was Walbridge, am I correct? And they were going to build this massive plant down there just south of the border, and all the vehicles would have been built down there, and they would have tried to ship them in. Just him talking about it, you know, Teddy Roosevelt used to have a saying, walk softly but carry a big stick. Nobody's got a bigger stick than this guy right here. And when he starts waving it around, people listen. The guy's one of the best businessmen in the history of this country. We need to elect him president again. He's won 2 elections. He's got to win a 3rd. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your excellent remarks. You are exactly correct about the people in this room and the people in this community. And I'm so proud of President Trump and so happy that he came here to reach out the hand of friendship, because this is somewhere we got off the path, and the Muslim community needs to understand this guy represents your values.
Of this guy. I don't know, that's got to be a lot of lifting. I don't know. I think you have it naturally, actually. Well, I want to thank you, and I'm really and particularly proud that you are here, because you've been right from the beginning. You understood it, you got it. A lot of people don't understand it, and it's sort of easy to do. And I'm so happy that it happened before the election as opposed to after the election, because this is big news. Now, I don't know if the fake news will cover it, but this is big news. Now, think of it. The biggest plants in the world were going to be built, and now they've stopped. And what that would do is really hurt America, and it'll devastate Michigan. So I'm glad you were able to hear it as soon as I got the information. But the information is solid, and we're going to get those plants to be built, ideally right here. We're going to work on it very hard. As far as the election is concerned, we're doing very well. You see, we're up in the polls, pretty substantially. They have a new thing, a new phenomena, and that's gambling polls. They call it polypoll or something. I've never heard of it. Polymarket, and we're, I guess, at 64 to 38, 36, something like that. So that's not bad. I don't know what the hell it means, but it means that we're doing pretty well. And we're the 64, by the way, okay? Just, we don't want to be the 38 or 36. So I just want to let the mayor know. I want to let the council members know, the 3 council members. I appreciate it. We won't forget it. Please stand up. Yeah, and I want to thank Brian and all the people from the UAW and just auto workers, frankly, UAW or not, just auto workers, and they're great auto workers up here. This is where it all began. It all began for the world. It all began right here. And then slowly but surely, and then actually rapidly, it got taken away from us like candy gets taken away from a baby. They take that candy away from a baby so easy, and that's what they did to us. And a long time ago, you know, I told a story where I was given the Man of the Year or something. I was given a big award, and I came up and spoke, and I talked about how this is long before I ran for politics. And by the way, the fake New York Times said it never happened, and then I found the event. I found it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And they said, well, it never happened. There was no such award given, or there was no such event. And fortunately, we found a newspaper article that talked about I was up here. This is long before this. This is probably 18 or 19 years ago. And I came up and I talked about, don't let them steal your jobs. Don't let them steal your automobile factories. And but they did. I wasn't involved. I was happily in the private sector. But this is much better. This is much more important for me because we're going to save America. We're going to save the automobile industry, which wouldn't have happened if we didn't come along. I mean, think of it. If you have all these places building these plants with China's money and other countries, I'm not looking to blame China, other countries too, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. We're going to build a lot of different plants in Mexico and Canada. We have to watch Canada. But Mexico and Canada, all of a sudden, you're going to say, what happened to our industry? We'll be bringing cars. You'll be a parking lot for cars that are going to be sold in America. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to make the auto industry bigger and better and stronger than it's ever been before. And this community is such a big factor. I'm surprised you knew that, Brian. I'm very impressed with you.
Absolutely. Those are my coworkers.
Do you have a little Arab blood in you?
These guys are good workers.
I know they are. They're great people too, and they're smart, and that's what we want. So it's an honor to get your endorsement. It's an honor to be here as we open up this beautiful facility. And I'm going to be seeing you a lot, Mr. Mayor. And I think he has a hell of a future, don't you think?
Mr. President, one thing that the Democrats keep sending to our community is to scare them that you will come and deport them, although some of them are second and third generation immigrants. So I want you to respond to these accusations and fear delivering to our community. What would you say?
Fake news. Fake news. Hey, listen, you know, they say every week they have a different concept for me. I'm going to be the biggest dictator in the world. I'm going to destroy the world. I'm going to. They have so many things that they've said about me, and nothing sticks. Is this the new one? I'm going to come and we're going to deport, but just your community. That's good. Well, and I'll tell you what, they're also great people. They're great workers. And thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor to be with you. And now we're going to go. We're going to make 2 stops, and we're going to make a big speech. But this was a very important one. This is my first stop, and this is an honor of the mayor because, in particular, he and the 3 council members.
Mr. President, on behalf of the city of Hamtramck, and we would like to present you a certificate of appreciation for visiting our city. And I would like to call the 3 elected officials, if you don't mind, to join me to hand you this certificate, please. It's going to be historic for our city.
good are the restaurants? Is the food good or is it great? Go ahead.
Thank you. You are the only one that can make this America great again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great. I will do that. I will. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, my friend.